Good evening, viewers of Voice of Canada. This is our first show of 2024. We would like to wish all our viewers and all well-wishers and our supporters a very happy and a prosperous new year 2024. So we are back this year also with our weekly talk show. Your host Asphandiar Wadiwalla, and even we are glad to see our Cindy Young, our regular female co-host, who has returned after a break of over a quarter from last year, because she had an assignment to attend, and there was other female co-host who was doing the shows with me. So welcome back to Voice of Canada. Today we have got a very dynamic guest from Edmonton. She is none other than our very own Dr. Aisha Rauf. Aisha Rauf ji, welcome back to our show.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Go ahead.
I'd first like to start to welcome everyone back to a new year and wish everyone a wonderful 2024, and may 2024 bring many blessings to all of you on the Voice of Canada. And I'm Cindy Young, and I'm the co-host for today, and it's such a pleasure to be back, and to be back with Asphandiar, Wadiwalla, as the host of the show. A very special welcome as well to Dr. Aisha Rauf. It's wonderful to meet you. So welcome to our show. And the first question, if you can just inform our viewers of Voice of Canada, when you immigrated to Canada and from which country you came from.
Thank you, Cindy. So, me and my husband, we came to Canada in the year 2000. So, it's almost 2.5 decades that we've been in Canada, and we are from Pakistan.
Awesome. Dr. Aisha Rauf, we see from your bio, and we did a little research on you, that you have got a long 15 years experience with non-profit organizations. Plus, you are very active politically also. So tell us about your non-profit organization.
See, when somebody has a spark to support the community and help the people around, then I would say that politics is the best way of doing it. But while we're talking about the nonprofits and my affiliations, so I've been with a number of nonprofits in the past and at present as well. So, like Catholic Social Services, Assist Community Services, um, ec- um, um, Pakistan Canada Association of Edmonton, um, a few more. And the thing is that I might not remember the names. You have done the research here, but I've been on board, and the basic purpose I've served on all of those nonprofits is that to bring something new and rather to the community around, and definitely not only the Pakistani community, but all the people who are around us basically form a community. So,
Definitely.
yeah,
They are all communities because Canada is the largest multicultural country in the world.
definitely. Yeah, so I've been on board and I've been into the policy making, into advisory, and just to make the life better and easier for a lot of people around us in many forms.
So for the next question, we also read that in your bio that you also engage in political organizations and governance boards. If you could inform our viewers about each of these and what is your involvement in them?
Yeah, that's a good question, Cindy. So when I joined the Alberta Party, the leader asked me to join the provincial board. I told him that nobody in my family has done real politics like this way, and his answer was quite I still remember that he said that politics in North America is not rocket science, and
Definitely.
and you will learn eventually. And believe
sure.
me, since then I have learned it. I am still learning it, and I'm
Lovely.
loving it.
Truly
Yeah. So
awesome.
yeah. So the first step was running to be elected on the provincial board of Alberta
And that
Party.
was for NDP. Am I right?
No, that was for Alberta Party.
Alberta Party.
Oh, Alberta.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, okay.
Yeah. So I ran for so out of 64, I still remember 16 of us were get elected, and I was one of them. It was my first time on any board. Basically, it was the advisory board. And if you guys know that the provincial boards are the ones who take care of all the policy of that party. So we were in the policy making that time and learned a lot, contributed a lot. And after that, I ran for the office for the same party as well. I won the nomination, though I could not win the seat. But that was a unique experience. We'll talk about it as well. Yeah.
Because I remember I was very much here in Canada when you ran.
Mm-hmm.
You ran
Yeah.
for the political. So it was faintly in my mind that you ran for an election and you
Mm-hmm.
had put your foot down to win,
you.
but we did not win. But it is always, you have to try, and try.
Definitely. So
You don't have to
but
get disheartened
yeah.
at all.
Yeah. And
Okay.
my first thing, like my question from a friend was, if you don't win an election, so what does the people say around you? She said nobody says bad things about you. They say you were brave enough to
To put
step
your foot
up.
down and you
Yes,
came and joined the party
Yeah.
and you were in the pipeline,
definitely.
and
Yes.
you gained a lot of experience while campaigning and doing things. It's not only the
Absolutely.
first time you have to win only. Year
Yes.
over year in Ontario, we have got our current one of the ministers in the provincial assembly that
Mm-hmm.
she ran for 6 times.
Oh
Seven
wow.
times she succeeded and became
See.
an MPP, and now she's a minister.
Oh wow. That's great.
So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why you
You
have to
just keep
keep going.
trying.
Keep
Yeah.
trying only. There
Yeah.
is no shame. In Canada, it's a good thing.
Absolutely.
Right.
It
Yeah.
keeps you well trim and fit also.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr.
Definitely.
Aisha,
That's true.
my next question to you is that we see that you have done a PhD in English linguistics,
Mm-hmm.
and at the same
Amazing.
time afterwards you did a teacher's diploma. So
Yes.
my question is in two part. So first, tell us what is in English linguistics, the
So
degree of
yeah.
PhD.
So linguistics basically is the scientific knowledge or scientific study of the language.
Wow.
So you break language into portions, and you talk about, like you learn or you try to explain things, or the discourses, when you divide them into portions. Just imagine scientific study of a language.
Wow. And
My PhD was about the okay, so the political discourse that arise when there are talk shows about women issues.
mm-hmm.
Mm.
So the discourses that arise when a woman issue is discussed in any political talk show, and what happens, what kind of discourses can we study in terms of the scientific study of when we break down the language of the participants. So it was interesting. I like it.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, it's an
A
honor
lot of
because
different
I have one PhD in my house. My daughter is also a PhD,
Oh, nice. That's great.
but that
Yeah.
she is in neuroscience.
Hmm. And then, Asphandiar, you must know that we would love to talk about our thesis.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Why not?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Go ahead.
Dr. Aisha, we also know that you are the founder and CEO of Elite Institute of Training and Immigration Services. Are you still with these services, and what do they provide?
So basically, as Canada is an immigrants country, and I have taught ESL students a lot in various nonprofits.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to found an organization where we can teach English to adults according to their needs and their time preferences. Because
Definitely.
Very
what
nice.
I've seen is that most of the organizations, they teach them during the daytime, which means they cannot work that time. And and when you are a new immigrant, you need to work as well as study. So we teach English language, so that they can take care of the work as well as their English
Plus, they
needs.
can pass
Plus, they,
their citizenship test also.
Yes,
and go
yes.
through
So
that whole
IELTS,
process.
yes,
That is
Yeah.
the
definitely.
biggest thing. Everybody has to clear the test.
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
Very nice.
Dr. Aisha Rauf, you have published so many articles in print media. Can you remember some and tell our viewers what were the articles about?
So one of the article was about the mysticism about the intersection of the intersectionality of various linguistic discourses when they arise in any discourse. uh, this would say that again that I took a piece of speech from one of the famous leaders, one of the famous political leader of Pakistan, and then I divided the speech into various portions, and there it was explained scientifically that what were the discourses that arose when a particular gesture was said or spoken in the speech of the leader, and what were the meanings, what could have been the discourses that were rising from it.
Truly awesome.
Oh, yes.
Please inform our viewers that you did your PhD here in Canada or back in Pakistan.
Back in Pakistan.
Back in Pakistan. And you are basically from Punjab, Lahore.
Basically from Punjab, but from a very small town called Bahawalpur in
Wow,
Punjab.
lovely. Bahawalpur is not a small town. It has got a big history behind. I've been to Bahawalpur.
Oh wow, that's great.
I've been to
So,
Bahawalpur because I was managing the marketing of the whole Pakistan. So I have
Nice.
been to
That's-
Bahawalpur. Bahawalpur
Mhm.
has a rich heritage, you know. The Nawabs of Bahawalpur are very well known.
Oh yes.
For
Yeah,
sure.
it used to be a state before the partition,
It was a state,
just
yeah.
like the Hyderabad Deccan state. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Dr. Aisha Rauf, inform our viewers also that currently are you happy with the provincial politics and the provincial party which is ruling Alberta?
See, being happy or not, that's a very big question.
I know. I've asked you a
Yeah.
very difficult question also, but and everybody's views are different.
Yeah, so I'll try to answer wholeheartedly. So,
Wholeheartedly, don't be diplomatic because our show, we want our viewers to know the real facts.
So the current premier of Alberta is Danielle Smith. So 7 months ago, she led the UCP to victory in Alberta's provincial elections on a platform centered around affordability and improving healthcare in province. Since then, Smith's government has taken action on both sides of these policy objectives, with plans to do much more. So, particularly when it comes to overhauling the way the provincial health authority is structured. So, she has promised healthcare reforms. She still needs time. They are working on it. Overall, they are doing fine. There are, always people who are happy and who are unhappy with whatever is happening. Um, uh, if we talk about Edmonton, you know that Edmonton has a vast majority of NDP in provincial government, so which shows that people in Edmonton are basically okay with what Daniel Smith has promised. And like I would say, sorry. So because we have NDP and now she's from UCP.
Yeah.
So yeah. So Edmontonians, they aren't very happy with what Daniel Smith has promised, but overall, I would say that we are fine with what she's doing. We must give her some more time because
Give
it's
her some
just been
time. She was only
7 months.
elected
Yeah,
last year. Am I right? She was elected last year?
yeah,
Because
yes.
I know your former premier of Alberta very well.
Jason Canny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
So
I've worked with him and I've been very close to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, that's great. Mm-hmm.
So just give her a time. Give her a time. It takes time. Every province has got difficulties.
Right. And with COVID days and everything,
Yeah.
like all over Canada, rather globally, everybody is facing financial difficulties and a lot more. So while she has promised that they are going to overhaul the healthcare system and affordability, so let's see how things are going to work.
No, it will be good because I know the province of Alberta, they charge HST as 8%. Am I right?
Yes, you're
Whereas
right.
other provinces are paying 13%.
Mhm.
So it's a
Like
big,
us.
big difference.
Yeah.
Because when
Yes.
I was in Alberta just few years ago, I find
Mhm.
very happy that the prices are much lower because the HST is low. You
Yes.
immediately get a discount of 5%.
That's called the Alberta tax advantage.
And
Yeah.
the
So
life in Edmonton is not bad. People are enjoying
Mhm.
life. All our immigrants
absolutely.
and all, I was there for 3-4 days and I
Mhm.
met
Very
lots
nice
of
province.
immigrants.
You're right. And Asfandiar, as you, I don't know if you're aware or not, I own an immigration consultancy business as well.
We are
And
going to
when,
come on that. We are going to come
yeah,
on your
yeah. So we'll
and
talk about
and
that.
the
Yeah,
issues of COVID also. So
yeah,
let's
definitely.
talk one by one. Go ahead.
Yes.
So while we're on the discussion a little bit of the politics, we did a little bit of discussing already your achievements a couple of years ago, where you also put your feet forward into an election as well from a political platform. If you could just tell us more just about your experience of that, what it was like of trying to get elected into a public position.
That was a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
And while I was planning to run for the office, the political party leader, who's also my political mentor, he asked me to get permission from my kids if they are okay with their mom not being with them for at least a year.
Yeah.
At that time I wasn't like thinking it that way, that it's really going to be that way, but he was fine. He was really right, because I used to work full time that time. So from 9 to 5 you're working, uh, after 6 you have meetings. This is, I'm talking about the weekdays. So from
Wow.
6 to
Wow.
9,
It's
sometimes
huge
10,
commitment.
you, yeah, you are in meetings.
Yeah.
So around 10 when you go home, kids are asleep, and so your husband, the poor guy, is waiting for you only. So there were days when I was not able to see my kids, but they were younger that time as well. I have three daughters, but yeah, the best part of it was they participated in the campaign at the weekends. All the door knocking, they would bring their friends. I would call my friends,
Nice.
because
Yeah, I was
That'd
observing
be very
you.
nice.
Though I was
Yeah.
sitting here, but I observed you doing you gave a very good campaign.
and my party used to call me the superstar door knocker of the party,
Wow.
because
Wow. You are very energetic. You're quite energetic, and I see you because I do follow you, and we are friends on a social media since quite a long time.
yeah, you're right. And because if we plan to run for the public office, we need to be people's person, and I am a people's person. I
You are
love to meet
definitely a
people.
people's person. Yeah.
Yeah, and so there were doors that I would knock in my riding, and they would say, we were waiting for the Alberta Party representative because we haven't met you. And after meeting you, we were to make up our mind who are we going to vote for. So it was great. It was great. It was a great learning experience. I met real Canadians who were ready and willing to vote and to bring a change to the provincial politics. It was
That's
really
amazing.
lovely. Yes,
Yeah.
amazing. My kids learned a lot. I learned a lot. My family, friends, we all learned a lot from this.
Yeah, what
So,
a
though it
huge
was
learning
hard,
experience.
oh yeah, it was hard, but it was definitely like worth
Rewarding
it.
and learning experience. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
don't lose heart.
No.
2026, the federal elections are coming. So
Yeah.
rather prepare for that.
Yeah.
I would
Let's see.
advise you because there is a huge community of Pakistanis in Edmonton.
You're
Am I
right.
right?
Yes.
So try your luck. Don't sit at
Definitely.
home. You have that zeal. You have got that political blood in you. So prove to Canada that you can be a Canadian politician.
Yeah. We'll definitely listen to your advice. Yep.
Thank you. So we'll be taking a short break and we'll be back with you soon. Welcome back after our short break in our weekly talk show, Voice of Canada, hosted by Asphandiar Wadiwalla. My co host is Cindy Young, and we welcome our viewers back after the break with our Dr. Aisha Rauf. Dr. Aisha Rauf, inform our viewers of Voice of Canada. What is the difference? You are aware of the fact that Alberta has remained a very strong hold for the Federal Conservative Party of Canada. all our top leaders are based in Calgary. And you see in federal elections, it's all blue,
Mm-hmm.
practically blue. Maybe
Yeah.
one seat we lost last time to NDP, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a reverse scene. Whereas the third tier government is concerned, the local politics,
Mm-hmm.
people love NDP. So give us the reason. Okay, what is there that the federally we are so strong and provincially the NDP is strong?
See, NDP is more visible on local government politics. You
I
are
see.
right. Yes. So if we talk about the difference between provincial UCP and NDP, so UCP has a tax reduction on personal income tax side of things,
Mm-hmm.
while the NDP has tax increase on the corporate side of things. So each of those has pros and cons. So that are important to consider. But I would characterize the fiscal policy of both parties as being remarkably the same. But Alberta has for decades been considered a conservative province.
Yeah, the federally,
Right.
though we are very, very strong.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
even when Jason Kenney had the merger with some Rose Party of
yeah.
Alberta,
Wild
and when
Rose.
with the
Yeah,
conservative provincial conservative, they brought the government, and again from the same party, the premier
yeah.
is there.
Right, yeah. So because like Alberta is considered the conservative fortress, no matter which right of center party the Albertans may have chosen to support, but Alberta mainly is basically a conservative province. So don't worry, things might change, things will change. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
NDP provincially is more visible, but
Hmm.
let's see.
And the provincial headquarters in Alberta is Edmonton. Am I right?
Right.
The premier sits in Edmonton.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
So you've touched a little bit on this already, but if we examine the past records, 2 to 3 federal elections, we notice that federally Conservative Party of Canada is the number one party, which has owned the federal seats at our House of Commons in Ottawa. Can you give us your views regarding maybe what are some of the reasons for that?
So, see, today's Conservative Party is a vibrant national organization with strong grassroots support from coast to coast, right? We cannot disagree with that. So, it is founded on the principles of peace and freedom, and we can all pray for the better future of the party all over Canada. So, yeah, so let's hope for the best. We have federal elections coming, so let's see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dr. Aisha, let's talk a little bit on a lighter side. We have talked politics, we have talked about your education, what all you do in Edmonton. So tell us something about your immediate family.
Okay, so my husband, he works for Government of Alberta here. He's a
Uh-huh.
civil engineer, and he's done his master's in river morphodynamics.
Awesome.
I have three lovely daughters.
Awesome.
The oldest
Mashallah,
one
I
is
would say.
yeah. So so both of them, like two of my daughters, they are following their dad's footsteps. Like they are at UFA. So both of them in engineering, fourth year and
Nice.
first year.
Awesome, awesome. Now,
Yeah.
though, it is going to be
Wow.
a good days are coming for you to be in the
That's
politics,
amazing.
huh? To give you a
Yeah.
full time in politics.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm also a senator, a publicly elected senator at the University of Alberta Senate, which is
Awesome,
sort of an advisory board for the university.
awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I did
Yeah,
not
that's
knew
amazing.
that, and that is
Uh-huh.
an added information for me and our viewers as well.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe the bio didn't have that, because when I sent that to you, I was in Dubai that time, if you remember.
Wow, wow.
Yeah,
So
No problem.
very
No, but
nice.
good you informed us. Go ahead,
yeah.
Cindy.
As you're aware, that the province of Alberta is rich in mineral resources and huge deposits of crude oil reserves, but hardly refines its own crude oil into gas for our own consumption and export it as well. So, what are the hurdles facing your province of Alberta?
That's a question that stays in our mind and heart all the time, being an Albertan. So historically, Alberta has focused on extracting and exporting its raw oil resources due to factors such as the availability of infrastructure, market demand, and economic considerations.
Mm.
So, refining oil requires significant investment in infrastructure and technology, as well as access to market for the refined products. So, also, finished product pipelines are more costly to operate than crude oil pipelines. Because of its remote location, Alberta incurs a much higher capital cost for refining equipment
Hmm.
than,
Right.
than if
Makes
that
sense.
same equipment were installed further south. So there are 18 refineries in Canada and 5 are in Alberta. So we can have like seminars and seminars on this issue. That why
Definitely.
is Alberta not able to refine its own crude oil? Yeah, when it is
Yeah.
called
Yeah,
the
and I have
That's a
yeah.
asked,
big thing.
generally, I have asked this question to lots of elected representatives from center as well as
Yeah,
from the province of Ontario. But
right.
everybody gave a very, very mixed reaction.
Hmm.
Then I called an oil expert who was the managing director in Pakistan of a refinery.
Uh-huh.
And he came and clarified the whole situation. Okay, what are the reasons that
Mm,
Alberta is unable to refine its own crude?
right,
And why we depend on the Middle Eastern crude, or
right.
we send our crude for refining to US.
Huh.
So
So,
all the factors are very, very considerable, because if Alberta starts refining, the cost
yeah,
becomes very high, more than the international market rate.
right.
So how we can be able to solve this issue?
See, solving this issue, I don't know. Like, how are we going to do it? There are simple solutions, but then, then there are inter-provincial policies as well that we are not able
Politics are
to.
there, then
Yeah.
international
Yes,
politics are there, then the
yes,
big oil mafia is there. They all
agreed.
play a
Yeah,
role for
yes,
their own gains.
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
And you,
A lot of
let
hurdles
me
to
also
overcome.
give you some information. We have a
Mhm.
refinery in Sanya, which is in the
Okay.
part of Ontario.
Yeah.
And currently, or since a long time, Sanya refinery only is in production of 33%
See,
of its capacity.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
So see, there are the
A
factors
lot of,
that,
yeah.
yeah,
because they also refine the crude oil from Alberta. So
yeah.
it takes quite a lot, but still they are operating at 33%.
See, Alberta is called the oil province,
Yeah,
and still we have to send oil at a cheaper price to US and have to buy it on a much expensive
much
price from.
higher rate
Yes.
we get
Yeah,
the refined product.
Yep.
so
So that is an
uh,
unfortunate that
yeah,
our crude needs lot of refining. So
hmm,
the only thing is that our scientists and our oil engineers should find out way how
yeah,
to refine our crude, a Canadian crude, at a cheaper cost.
right, agreed.
So
Hmm.
we must rather work on that thing, because
Yeah,
there is nothing is impossible if we really work hard. We can
yes,
find some way how to
hmm,
refine our oil at a cheaper
yes,
cost.
right.
Go ahead.
So you're a very proud Canadian from Pakistan. So what are some of your hobbies? Some of the things that you like to do? Are you a good cook? Maybe some of your personal things about yourself.
See, I'm a great cook. This is not what I'm saying, but my friends they say it. But I've learned with the passage of time. I knew nothing when I got married, but I figured out that I love to cook. Next is
Awesome.
that I love to paint oil on canvas, and
Oh yeah.
I love to read Rumi, the mystic. So I paint Rumi a lot, and I try to portray his poetry in most of my paintings.
So
I
you
That's
do
also
little
amazing.
bit of sher or shairi also?
yes, but not. I won't call myself a great poet, but yes, I do.
Good, good, good. That's a
Yeah,
hobby. We are
yeah,
asking
that's
about your hobby and how you pass your time
Yeah.
and enjoy your life back in Edmonton.
yeah.
Amazing
Rest, I love
hobbies.
reading
Keeps you nice and
books.
busy.
I love spending time with my daughters. We all love watching movies on Netflix in theater, and we go on hiking, biking, walk, etc. Yeah.
And I definitely know you are a foodie also,
Oh yeah.
because I've seen you at all popular places when you visit Lahore.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. I want to make like real good vlogs because I have friends who would take me to the real eateries in Lahore, the real Pakistani food. So one day, someday, if I have time, I might do something like that.
I miss also a lot Lahore because every month I used to visit Lahore.
Mm-hmm.
We
That's
had
good.
a firm, a company, and even a
Mm-hmm.
production unit in Lahore, Kot Lakpat.
Right. Oh, good.
So I've got fond memories of Lahore,
You have
spe-
traveled as well. A
especially the
lot.
lunches at
Mm-hmm.
Punjab Club.
Mm. Okay.
I still miss those.
Mm-hmm.
The Dr. Aisha Rauf, we will be touching little question about COVID. The world
Uh-huh.
has suffered since last 2 years,
Right.
and it ended around 2022, and we tried to reopen everything by 23rd, and last year was really worse because
Right.
we faced several new issues like
Mm-hmm.
inflation. Number
Mm-hmm.
one, the
Yeah.
gas prices is hitting us since last 2 years. Then immediately the groceries got costly by 10 to 12%, and in some cases it went up to 18%, like the dairy products and the meat products. So what is the situation and issues in Alberta after the COVID-19 pandemic?
You know, what you have just mentioned, it all happened in Alberta as well, which
Yeah,
include,
I'm aware,
jo-
fully aware.
yeah, job losses, mental health
Lockdowns and everything
challenges.
was there. Yeah,
Yeah, so even after that, like there, lots of businesses have been closed, lots of job losses, and if you can think that people had to go through mental health challenges as well. And even after 3 years that COVID pandemic is over, people are still struggling with the loss. But I
people are
must say,
struggling.
Still are.
still struggling, yeah, because we still see a lot of businesses closing around, still closing, a lot of jobless people, and people have moved, sometimes, like we have seen friends moving out of the province, going to Saskatchewan, some went to Ontario, and I think people sold their houses, could not afford the mortgages, and you see the mortgage, the um, what do we say, the taxes went up, so things like this. But during the pandemic, what I would say that Alberta offered like rent subsidy to the small businesses,
Mhm.
financial
You all
support,
did
and
a lot, yeah.
yeah.
Financial assistance was given by the federal government also.
Yes, federal government, you're right. So, to the small businesses in terms of loans, mortgage support was given to the homeowners. And also, if we talk about immigration, so the students who were struggling, because students were supposed to work 20 hours while in school. So that they can take care of their finances. So that 20 hours was increased. So Immigration Canada made it possible for the students to work endless hours so
Very
that
good, very
they
good.
could take care of them
This
financially.
was a positive attitude of the Alberta province of Alberta.
Yes, and then work permits were given to the visit visa holders.
Wow, wow,
That
very
was
good.
also,
together.
yeah. And so these were a few things that I can think
You
of.
can recall and yeah,
Yes,
experienced.
and for now, if we're talking people, yes, they are struggling, and we try to support them in all the ways we can. But it seems like we need a couple more years to get back on
It
the
will take
track.
time
Yes.
because even the
Yes,
predictions for
For everywhere.
2024 is not
yeah,
that easy. The year
yeah,
will go a bit rough, you know.
right. I
Maybe
agree.
after July they say the growth will pick up a bit, but the
Hmm.
problems will
It's
last.
gonna take
Yes,
time.
It will
yeah.
take some time.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If you could please inform our viewers, especially those in Ontario, how does our great province of Alberta, and I know we touched upon this a little bit already, manage its HST at 8%, and whereas in our thriving province of Ontario, we pay 13%.
Now that's an official question to you.
Yeah. So how does your province manage to survive with charging such a low HST? And due to all the services that become easier for the people to lead their lives in a nice way.
See, men is basically never happy. So Albertans, we still are always complaining. We need to think that we are a
And we
blessed
always
province.
envy Albertans.
Yeah, we're
That
complaining
that
too.
you all are
We're the
lucky,
other
you
side.
all are lucky by paying 8%. We are paying 13% at every step of our life.
You are right. So, if we go back in the history, the political history, it says that it's a long story, but I would summarize it that in 1937, the government of Alberta passed an act which allowed the lieutenant governor to suspend the tax indefinitely. So,
Oh,
Wow,
I
so
didn't know
wow.
that
that.
yeah, so that's why Alberta prides itself on being the only Canadian province with a provincial sales tax, which is known as Alberta Tax Advantage. So
Wow.
this
I
is an
didn't
advantage
Lucky you.
we
That's why
Albertans
you all
enjoy.
were
know.
really lucky that you all have settled down in Alberta.
That
Yeah.
is a
And we
nice
came and
advantage.
we thought Canada's base is Ontario. We came to Ontario.
We came to Ontario as well,
Uh-huh.
but those were some tough times in Ontario. If you recall the year 2000. So we moved to Ottawa and then we came to Edmonton.
Actually, you went to Ottawa and then to.
Yeah,
Wow, that's a
and we
long
are
way you have traveled.
oh yeah, and we are glad we came to Alberta. So
Came to
no
Alberta.
complaints in life. Yeah, we love it. My kids love it, and we cannot think of leaving Edmonton. Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Aisha, I will be asking you again, touching one or two subjects of COVID-19.
Hmm.
That here in Ontario, our people are finding it very hard to pay their mortgages
Hmm.
because the bank rates have gone very high. The bank rates are the same all over Canada. We stand at 5%. But still, there are people and families of middle income group, they are unable to pay the mortgage, and due to which nearly 48% rise has happened in the food banks. Our
Hmm.
food banks here in Ontario are overwhelmed.
Mhm.
They
Right.
cannot afford because I am connected with one of the major food banks here in Ontario, and I get the statistics and I do visit in a month once or twice
Hmm.
to see how the situation is going on, or we
Right.
need to do more fundraising.
Right.
So they generally say that by end of the second week we have got a huge demand for next 2 weeks.
Yes.
People have to take a support from food bank, which is a very very disappointing fact for a country like Canada.
See, this is the same that is happening in Alberta as well.
Uh-huh.
So the food banks, even if we talk about University of Alberta Food Bank, the demand has risen. And because the university food bank registered the students, and now they have opened it also for the outsider as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mhm.
I am also I also volunteer for IPSA, their food bank, and few other community shelters,
Mm-hmm.
and the demand has risen. And I don't know, the way you're saying that we need to keep on fundraising for all these to overcome all the needs. I don't know what is going to happen soon, but people are really in need. If we talk about the mortgage rates going up, it has happened in Alberta as
Mhm.
well. And I've literally seen people selling their houses because they cannot
Yeah,
afford to
yeah.
pay
Many
mortgage.
many sold their
Yeah,
houses. They could not
Yeah.
afford to pay the mortgages, and they
yeah.
went on rent.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. People say like it's no use. Like we are saving nothing. Rather, we are getting in debt if we keep the house. So we cannot. We
And
cannot.
many have
Yes.
started working two jobs, but still they cannot
Right.
put proper food on the table.
Very hard for
You're
a lot of
right. Like
people.
life has become hard. So
Yeah.
like I don't want to mention it, but a lot of immigrants are moving back to their country.
Yeah, that's
Or,
we call a reverse migration.
yes, and
Immigration, I would say. I have
yeah,
written a small note on Facebook today only. Okay, we are very sad that reverse immigration is taking place in
Mhm.
Canada.
yes,
It's a
and
two
it's
kind
Yes.
of
Very sad.
reverse immigration. One,
right.
people from Ontario, they are moving to other provinces, which they
Yeah,
find is cheaper and
yeah.
accommodating.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Secondly, they move out to US or back to their homeland.
Yes, a lot are going back to Dubai because I'm running immigration consultancy office as well. And when they call me, they say, you know what, we are planning to go back. We just want our kids to stay here for education, and they will move back as well. So it's going to be a huge loss for Canada if things do not get back to the regular self. And they are saying, how are you people surviving here if we are not able to?
So
So
I think same problems are being faced by Alberta also.
right, yes.
There will.
But if
But
we compare, but if
here
we
since long we have got a trend that the men work in the Middle East, especially the Middle Eastern and the Pakistani communities, and the begums are staying here in Canada with their children. And
Yeah,
one lane here in Mississauga we call as Begumpura.
I got it. Yeah, it's
Just
somewhere
for
in
your
Square
knowledge,
One. Yeah, yeah.
you must have heard about it.
Yes, yes, yeah. But still, if we compare life of Ontario with Alberta, Alberta is far cheaper. It's cheaper to buy a house here. It's cheaper to buy groceries and a lot more things. And because it's like the distances are short, smaller. It's not a huge province, so like it's affordable to live here.
Yeah,
So
still I can feel that here we have become very expensive.
yes,
We are nearly in a race with New York,
sort of. We can say
especially the
that. Yeah.
Toronto people. They are
Mhm.
they are killed under the pressures of taxes
Very
and
hard.
everything.
Yeah. So like yeah, a normal house we like the amount of buying a house that Ontarians are paying, it's huge. Like you sell your house over there, you can buy three similar houses here in
Oh
Alberta.
wow, that
Particularly
difference.
in Edmonton, I would say.
But the problem is not that in Edmonton the employment facilities are not that much what we have over here in Ontario.
See, yeah. Yeah, so it's better to find a job here first and then sell your house over there and come here.
A
That would
good
be a
advice
better
you
way
have
to do
given.
it for sure.
Okay, go ahead.
We are starting to run out of time for this session. Is there anything that you would like to, some of your final comments to us, maybe some important
Some
advice that you would
advice,
like to give to our viewers?
comments, and how
Yeah.
would you like to conclude your short interview? God willing, if you have got more things, we will invite you soon. Maybe by the end of year, once again, we'll invite you in our show. So just keep us informed, but give us a final concluding message.
Yeah, I would love to come again in the show. My message to all is that Canada is a beautiful country. It opens its arms for the immigrants and offer citizenship to everyone around the globe. It's a beautiful place to live. We should all contribute more to make it a better place for everyone around us. Because whatever it has offered us, we should be able to offer to the people around us. Our hard work as immigrants has made us live in this beautiful country, and the country has given us in return of our hard work as well. So that's why we are living happily and able to send the message to all the viewers through your show that work hard, stay straight, and be nice to others. That would give you lots of blessings, the way Canada has given us as well.
Same thing, yeah. It's the
Great
same thing.
advice.
I fully agree with your suggestion and your concluding message.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, after COVID, we have got 5,000 people who has come as refugees. They're on the roads. The government is unable to even provide them shelter beds at night.
Right.
They have taken
Yeah.
refuge at the churches and they are in the parks putting up tents. So that is a very, very disappointing situation. And
Yes.
especially just now, it's a winter months. So to
Mhm.
survive in winter once in a tent
Yeah.
is not easy.
Yes. Yeah.
And the government is doing its level best to, but they are unable. Nearly 5,000 refugees are on the streets of Toronto. That is another bigger issue for us.
Right.
So with that note,
Unfortunately.
we'll be soon be signing off from the interview of Dr. Aisha Rauf, my co-host Cindy Young, myself Asphandiar Wadiwalla. We'd like to say goodbye, good night, God bless Canada. Keep watching our weekly talk show, Voice of Canada. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you very much, Cindy Asfandia. Thank you.